Call of Duty has always been a sort of a window into a world that you would only see on the news. It had to do service to that reality, and it couldn't just be a Hollywood depiction. We're working with our Navy SEAL consultants, and they were training our actors, training our animators, and training our designers how they move realistically through spaces. We're not trained operators, obviously, although we try to be as immersed in that world as we possibly can. But we were still operating under the pretense that you kick down a door and you say, everybody throw your hands up, and you just come in with shock and awe. And our operators were like, well, we don't do anything like that.
In the shadows, they send us in to find it.
For us, the challenge was, if we want this game to be authentic and realistic and not a kind of a cliched Hollywood depiction of war, then we've got to ask them, what are some themes that are universal to your experience that you feel that we could do justice to in our game?
Okay. It's completely unrealistic.
The biggest thing we got off right off the bat was the main focus of the game was authenticity, and to create an environment where the player feels like he's actually in the environment. In this particular game, we got brought in from infancy. I mean, from the start.
That started with the story. You know, is that something that's real? And then if so, how might we do it? So when we were having those discussions, when we're kind of meeting in the middle creatively, you know, they come out with something that's, we listen to it or watch it and we're like, okay, that would never happen. And so, but then, you know, we had these months-long discussions and try to, again, meet in the middle. So, you know, we're trying to make it authentic, they're trying to make it entertaining and authentic, and we finally whittle it down to something that we can both live with.
Target is in the main house. You have execute authority.
We basically have them on speed dial. We ask them questions all the time. We run scripts by them. We ask them about different types of terminology.
Operational logic, it has to make sense. It has to be, characters that we're portraying would be actually motivated by the thing they're going after.
The way the characters look in the game, gear, equipment, the way they move.
We took some of the developers out to the range. Some of them hadn't shot guns before. So we wanted, you know, their goal was to, you know, hold a gun, shoot a gun safely, and mine the experience from that, the recoil, the flash, so that they can begin to inject that into the game. Now the guys that actually designed the guns, we had countless discussions with them with how does that recoil look right? You know, in some cases in the beginning it was too much or too little, and we tweak it. Does the muzzle flash look right? Does loading the weapon make sense here?
It's impossible to decouple the mechanics of a game from the narrative of the game. And so in the same way that we were working really closely with our military advisors and they were giving us tactical advice, we also took cues from them for the thematic subjects of the game. The reason why they have those tactics is because, frankly, they don't know what's on the other side of that door. And so to try to decouple the narrative from the gameplay would have been a mistake.
I've always said that it's just as important to know when not to pull the trigger as to know when to pull the trigger.
There's a lot of shoot, no shoot. So there's a lot of those moral decisions that the player's gonna have to make throughout the game. And it also brings a lot of realism to it. You know, you just can't get away with just going into a room and shooting every single person in the room.
This is crazy.
Get down! Yeah, but we're a little crazy, aren't we?
And they said over and over again, we are expected to go into imperfect situations and operate perfectly. And that is the burden that we carry. And that's the one thing that we would like the world to know. To not utilize these consultants that have been there on the ground, that are from these places, would be a big omission. And I think that the project is a lot better for it.
That's the mission.